Hi guys, welcome to May 4th, Monday, May 4th, uh, or May the 4th be with you. If you guys follow that fandom, this is a popular day for that fandom. So, welcome. Also, welcome to week 6. I cannot believe it. 6 weeks, more than a month. We've been doing this online learning and it's definitely been a challenge, I think, for all of us, but I think it's been very rewarding for a lot of us as well. It's tested our limits, and I believe that we've become kind of stronger for it. Hopefully, you agree. If not, I hope you are emailing me, messaging me, asking for help through this difficult time because I will help you. Please email me. I really do want to guide you through this time as much as I can. All right? Okay. So, Unit 4 project is due, so make sure you're getting that into Google Classroom. Also, Vocabulary Quiz 2 is due to Google Classroom today as well. And it has 12 questions. It's set up just like the last quiz was, with fill in the blanks and then multiple choice, and then 2 vocabulary terms which you have to write 3 to 5 sentences giving me a basic summary of the origin of those terms. Remember, please don't copy and paste this from the internet. I notice it because I know what I said in my videos. And while I'm glad you're putting in the effort to learn more about this, I want you to watch my videos and get that information from me, and so that I know not only that you're listening to these videos and you're watching these videos, but also that you're following directions correctly. Okay? All right, so we are getting into Unit 5, which is Journey into the Unknown. It's pretty much my favorite unit, I think. I really enjoy this unit because a lot of the times Journey into the Unknown is revolving around the afterlife. It doesn't always have to, of course, but it does usually involve an adventure of that sort of afterlife. That's usually the focus of Journey into the Unknown. But like I said, it doesn't always have to be, but it also focuses on journeys to the underworld and preventing death or taking someone back from death, which I find really, really interesting. And also sometimes Journey into the Unknown is just an adventure to somewhere else that has never previously been explored. So the mentor text we are going to be reading today, which I didn't type in, I'm sorry, is from this book, which we've read a text from before. Oops. It's the American Indian Myths and Legends text, and this is from the Serrano. If anybody knows how to pronounce that better than I do, please let me know. Serrano, I keep on wanting to say tribe, but I don't think that's the proper term for it. Serrano Native Americans. So this one's called The Land of the Dead. It's just a really short kind of summary of it, the story, but or a quick telling of the story, but I find it very interesting. Before we get into that, I want to go over what the Journey into the Unknown is, so that when you're listening to me read this story, you're like, okay, this is what it means. So, the need for answers is one of the another basic part of the Journey into the Unknown that doesn't usually involve actually going into the underworld or anything, but a lot of times, or even leaving and going into a place that's unknown, they might, but that's not really the journey that they're focusing on, which is the unknown. So this is when the hero is searching for answers. So they want to know more about their past. For instance, a book about a adult who just found out that they were adopted and they want to find out about their biological family. That can be searching their past, searching for answers, and also a solution to a problem. So the search for answers, a lot of times, you could see this in disaster movies where a team or a couple of people are going in to the unknown to find a solution or to solve a problem. Uh, so they might journey to this location, like a volcano, or they might journey. I don't know if you. This is a really old movie, but there's this movie called The Core, and it's pretty much where these group of adventurers travel to the core of the Earth, um, so that the pretty much the world doesn't end, basically. And that is definitely they're going down to the core, I think, to reset it, and so they're journeying into the unknown to solve a problem. But like I said, it could also be a solution to a problem. So they're traveling to get the Holy Grail that's going to save the world. And then there's explanations for tragedies. So this is unknown when it comes to the supernatural kind of unknown, and journeying into the idea of explaining things that seem very, well, obviously tragic, but also seem very strange. So, a lot of times, myths in general and mythical creatures are created to explain a happening. So you'll see this a lot in mythology, especially Native American mythology, where they create myths and legends that explain weather or um, animals and how they look. And this is a lot because they need an explanation. They're creating an explanation of why these things exist, um, and why these things happen. But also sometimes creatures are created. So my favorite explanation for tragedy is the banshee. It's a creature, you guys may have heard of it. It comes from more Irish and Scottish mythology, mostly Irish, where it's this female creature that screams. And when you hear that scream, that means that you or someone you love is going to die, usually you. So, and they also say that banshees attach to a certain family. So they would use the scream of a banshee or just the creature of a banshee to explain why a tragic death or many tragic deaths in one family or one group happened. So there was a lot of families that would die within months of each other and multiple deaths would happen. And while this could seriously just be considered tragedy and living in a time period where there wasn't a lot of medical solutions to things, so a lot of people would die from just the common cold, um, or other illnesses that could be treated today, and or a tragic horse and wagon or buggy or whatever um, accident, and this would happen multiple times within multiple families. So a lot of tragedies happen to a lot of families. So a lot of Irish cultures said, "Oh, we heard the scream of the banshee," and there is even some myths that banshees are actually really come hand in hand with ghosts, because while a huge culture believes in ghosts and ghost hunting, just as big of a, especially like I said, the Irish culture believes in banshees. So a lot of people will go hunting for banshees and hear banshee screams, which obviously could be explained away, just like ghosts. Hunters can explain away certain things, but regardless, it is actually a big thing that goes beyond the myth, which I find really cool. And then there's coming back from death or the underworld. Like I said, this is another journey into the unknown, and it doesn't always mean coming back from the death or the underworld. That's usually regarding Hercules' trials. His trials, he had to go through multiple trials. But one of those trials was the journey into the underworld, where he had to capture Cerberus, which was Hades' three-headed dog. We saw him in Disney's Hercules. And then there's also the hero's journey to save a dead loved one. One of those stories that is in your links of choices that you get to choose from is a story about a hero going down to save his girl. I think it's his wife. it's his wife or his girlfriend. But he goes down to save her and makes a deal with Hades to bring her back. And if you read that, you'll get to, that's a very interesting myth. So that is a good choice if you want to, if you're having trouble choosing. And then these are some literature / movies about the afterlife, which I find is still the journey into the unknown, because even if they're not coming back from death, it's still them learning, going into an unknown, because it's the afterlife, so obviously they don't know anything about it, because you can only die once, sort of, it's, in most cases, that isn't like a sci-fi book or movie. But anyway, so I came up with a list. All of these I have seen or used in my myth class before. So What Dreams May Come and Disney's Coco, those are both movies. I used those both in last trimester with this class for this unit. Obviously, with the online learning, we're only really doing one movie per unit for time reasons. And I decided, because both of those are, well, Coco's not really depressing, but I wanted a longer movie like What Dreams May Come, but that one's kind of bittersweet, even though it has Robin Williams in it, so it does have some comedic elements. I wanted something happier, so that's why we're going with Beetlejuice. But yeah, those are two that show different aspects of the afterlife. And even Coco, the main character, he comes back from the underworld, from the afterlife, if you will. So that's definitely a coming back from death. But What Dreams May Come is a man dying and his adventure through the afterlife and searching for his wife, who eventually dies as well after him. I recommend the movie. It's a good movie. Anyway, and then the other one, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, that's a book by Mitch Albom. Love the book. Great book. And then it's also a film, and it's actually a really long film for how short the book is, because the book is pretty thin, and it's a quick read, I think, but the movie makes sure that it pretty much breaks down every single element of the book, which is what makes the movie so long, but both are awesome. So The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, read the book, watch the film, one or the other, or both. I love them both. It's a great example of coming back from death, but not really, and then the underworld. But it's a great journey into the unknown story, so I highly recommend it. Alright, so that is our introduction. So my time is about to run out on this first video, so stay tuned for the second video where I will be reading the mentor text, and also don't forget to go into project literature options. This is the link that leads you to my stories, or links that give you the mythology behind things like banshees, which you can choose from for your creative, for your unit 5 final project. All right, so make sure you're picking one of those, because the project proposal is due on Wednesday. That's the 6th. So make sure that you are looking through those options, reading a couple, and then picking your favorite, and then sending that proposal to me that says, this is the story I've chosen, and this is the project that I'm going to do based on it. Alright, so stay tuned for the reading of The Land of the Dead.